it's the Bougie Show, the Bougie Show. Tell them it's the Bougie Show, the Bougie Show. Yeah, 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 yeah. Turn up, turn up.
We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Bougie Show. I am Zay the DJ, and my guest in front of me is a 5'3" and known to get busy, residing out of Michigan, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, the veteran herself is here to talk her SHIT. The highly requested performer is here in the flesh. Gia Paige is in the building.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Do you approve of the introduction?
I do.
Okay. Was it precise?
Approval. Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm 5'3.5", but I'll let you slide on the 5'3". It's okay.
The half matters when you're that.
It does.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm the shortest out of my friend group, so I really, really rely on that half.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that. Anyways, I want to give you your flowers on camera because Gia was one of the only to actually acknowledge us for our level of professionalism and being a show and mentioning to us how her peers spoke highly of us, and you let us know that. So we appreciate that on your end. We'll give you an applaud for that.
Of course. My pleasure.
Because it matters, and I'm saying that because I want people to hear that in any industry that you're in, handle your business and stop, cut the shenanigans out,
Yeah.
Yeah, so we appreciate that. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Gia Paige joining us on the Bougie Show. How does one come from being a general manager at a pizzeria to joining the adult film industry?
Actually, it was an accident.
Okay.
I didn't ever mean to be here. Full transparency. I was curious about getting into escorting.
Okay.
So I was on like sexy jobs and stuff like that, kind of cruising around, and somebody actually asked me if I would be interested in doing adult films. And I was like, yeah, I'll try it. You know what I mean? And I went out and I tried it and I never looked back.
Escorting.
Yeah.
That is a dangerous game. You're a small woman.
Small but mighty. Don't
I
underestimate me.
And I get it. I'm just saying, it's so dangerous. Especially you're in California, you're by the border. At this time, were you living in California?
No, Michigan. Yeah.
So you went that route. But when did you really decide to like pull the trigger on and be like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to literally change my whole lifestyle, everything. What was that moment? There wasn't a moment?
No, I'm kind of just like, I'm on a whim. I like to do things that excite me. And at the time I was like, I want to try something new. I want to do something, and then I had some friends that had done it. And I'm like, I was always kind of curious.
Okay.
But I don't like being the center of attention. So like going into like porn, I didn't really consider it. I was like, escorting, that's low key.
Right,
you know what I mean?
correct.
Nobody's filming it.
Right.
Like you're just kind of on your own doing it.
Correct.
So that kind of felt safe to me, I
Okay.
guess, even though that sounds kind of silly. It felt safe to me.
Right. Well, safer at least, if anything, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So you never went back to the pizzeria?
No, I mean, I did go back to like order food,
That's
and like
it.
I'm on good terms
Okay.
with everybody who
They know who you are now?
Yeah. Well, I actually got outed before I even left, so everybody kind of knew.
Okay.
It wasn't a surprise. Like
Okay.
even my parents knew, so no surprise
Wow.
there.
How did you date a co-manager for an entire year and not know he was living with a full-on girlfriend? How does that happen?
He is a really good liar. I'll tell you what. And like, I guess you could say I'm gullible. I really believe in people. So when you tell me that you're single, I've never seen this girl, I've picked you up from your house, you've stayed the night with me. It's like.
But he never brought you in the house. Was that not a red flag?
No, because I never brought him in my house.
So where'd you guys knock boots at?
In the hotel. I'm not bringing him in my house.
Hold on, but you knew him. If you were dealing with him a whole year, you didn't feel comfortable to bring him? Or this time you weren't living by yourself?
Oh, I was living with my dad.
Oh, okay. So clearly you're not bringing him in there. Okay.
No, but my dad knew about him.
Okay.
I just, I didn't know where it was going, and like I'm really protective of like my home life and stuff. So I'm not gonna bring somebody in to like meet my parents and stuff if I don't know where it's going.
Yeah, no, I get it. Wow. So have you ever seen that guy again?
No. Thank God.
How did you catch him? How'd you find out?
Actually, she approached me. And we had a talk about it, and we were both like, he fucking sucks. And at one point we even had planned on like bombarding him about it, but I was like, girl, like that's your thing.
That's your
like
thing,
I totally like, I'm so
You
sorry.
let it go?
I felt bad about it.
When you found out, you let him go?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Cold turkey, nothing.
Oh,
we
yeah?
never spoke. Yes. Yeah, because it's kind of like, it's humiliating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And dangerous. It could have caused problems for everybody.
Exactly. And I felt really bad for her because obviously he wasn't just sneaky to me, but he's sneaky to her as well. And I didn't want her to think that like I knew about her and I was like doing this maliciously.
being disrespectful.
I would never do that to somebody.
And I'm just wondering how she never been up there to the job for the year, picking up or not. You know what I mean? I'm just, he pulled it off. Wow.
Not a single time. Nothing.
Gia Paige joining us on the Bougie Show. You switched your look over the years. Did you find your zone or you wanted to stand out?
I just have always done me, but in the beginning of porn, I was told that like you have to kind of fit a certain mold until you get yourself established and then you can kind of go and do whatever you want. And so being that same person all the time, it was like really boring for me. So when I took time off and, I didn't shoot at all during COVID,
Right.
I was like, this is my opportunity. Like when I come back, I can be the person that I want to be and my fans are going to respect that. I've been doing this almost 10 years.
10 years?
It's like, yeah. I've established myself enough to where like I have a really good fan base. They love me. They have loved me throughout all of my changes, whether it be hair, piercings, weight, all of those things.
Your weight, you were heavier and smaller? Your weight fluctuated?
Yeah,
Okay.
fluctuated. When I was at the
Fluctuated
pizzeria, I was a little heavier. I got into porn, I was a little skinnier. And then through COVID, I got a little bigger. And then I got smaller. So it's like,
Are you at the size you want to be now or you want to get a little bigger or smaller or what?
I don't know. I'm comfortable in my body right now.
Okay.
So, that might change later on down the line. But I feel really good. I feel confident. So nothing really I want to change at
You're
the
inked
moment.
up. How much ink you have?
I don't think I've ever counted.
Or you stopped counting?
Yeah. You know what? That's a good point. I stopped counting. Yeah.
You got one on your face, under your eye.
Yeah. I have 3 on my face.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's the other?
One by my ear, another one by my ear, and then the one on my...
All right. Did you really get, I know you spoke on Living with Your Father. Did you really get caught watching his collection?
Oh, that was when I was younger. So,
Okay.
my parents divorced and my dad moved out. He was out of the house.
Okay.
And so my mom had a new boyfriend and she was gone a lot. And one time, me and my girlfriends, we were just I knew my dad had a porn collection that he left behind. So we were like,
it is time to stop the fuckery.
let's watch this. You know what I mean?
Usually boys would be thinking that, not the girls. Oh,
Well, you'd be
go
surprised.
ahead. Yeah, I'm learning, clearly.
So we went and we took a tape. It was a tape, okay?
Yeah,
back
VHS,
then.
gotcha.
Yeah, right. So we took the tape and we were watching it down in my room, and it was one of the most traumatizing things for me because I was younger.
You were a virgin at the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was an uncircumcised dick, and I thought that the person was ripping his dick because I had no idea what that was. It traumatized me. Yeah. So I didn't watch porn after that, but my mom did actually end up finding the tape in my room, and she was furious.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think she really approved of obviously she knew about his collection, but I think it made her uncomfortable. So for me to kind of have that, I think it was kind of I don't know, brought stuff back maybe.
Yeah, because you probably battled with him about getting rid of it, and so he didn't keep it, hide it. It wasn't disclosed. It was out there like your DVD rack on the shelf, and you literally got porn there too.
No, I mean
okay.
it was tapes just in the bottom of the closet. But there were a few times where he would leave a Playboy out, and I remember one time I woke up and there was just one on the table. So I was way younger, and I had asked, I went in their room. I'm like, what's this? And my mom, of course, well, I read it for the articles. The articles.
It is time to stop the fuckery.
Your father, you speak with him?
Yeah.
And he knows what you do?
Yeah.
You guys have conversations about it or not that much?
We don't talk about it. Me and my biological dad. My mom, both of my parents have remarried. And me and my stepdad are very, very close.
Okay.
And so my mom and my stepdad are super, super supportive. I can talk to them about anything in regards to it. But my biological dad, it's he knows, but we don't talk about it.
And it's so funny. We've done 2 interviews already today, and I completely forgot that. And I need to ask this question now, because the audience was telling me that, hey, you're always asking the guys, would they approve of their daughter doing adult films? And he said, why don't you flip it and ask the girls, would they approve of their son? And I was like, you know what? I don't know, because it's a double standards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your son does it. People kind of, that's kind of cool. You know what I mean? With women, it's just, it's a double standard. We know this, right? But
Absolutely.
I'm going to implement that for the rest of the event. asking you off the fly, would you, if you had a son, would you condemn him becoming an adult performer?
I would say the same thing that my mom said to me. If you're happy, healthy, and you're saving money, do what makes you happy. So no, I wouldn't care.
Okay. All right, Gia Paige joining us on the Bougie Show. A comment we've been getting a lot lately is, quote, "I bet your parents are so proud." What's Gia Paige respond to that? Because I get tired of it. It's just like I don't even respond to it. But go ahead.
My parents are proud of me. my mom. There was a long time where my mom was handling all of my emails. Like, they're very supportive, very supportive. My dad has come to conventions with me to be like my bodyguard and to watch after my tables and such.
Wait, Exotica and stuff like that?
Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
When I won awards, they were like over the moon for me. So yeah, they're 100% supportive of everything that I do. And like, I come from a long line of people doing sex work. Like, my great-grandmother was a burlesque dancer. My stepdad was a stripper. My oldest sister was a stripper. My younger sister is a stripper. So it's like it's not like I was the first person to ever engage in sex work.
You've always been sexually high? You always had a high sexual drive, I should say.
No, not really.
Do you have one now?
I mean, okay, because since porn, it's like, sex is boring unless I have like some type of like attraction or like bond with somebody, because otherwise I could just go to set and get a check, but I have to.
Oh, sex is boring off camera, you mean?
Yeah, unless I have like a connection.
Unless you're okay, got you.
Yeah, I'm actually celibate aside from work.
Oh, right, and that's something very common. I was interviewing Peter Green. He says, "Man, and he lives with a woman. I barely have sex off camera."
Yeah. But it didn't kill my sex drive in any way, shape, or form. I feel like I was always like this. So, unless I was with somebody, because, you have that bond. I have to have something. Otherwise, it's just like showing up to set and doing that. I'd much rather get paid.
Yeah. But that's considered work. You consider that type of sex recreational?
No.
Okay.
That's work.
That's just work.
It's like there's so much on your mind, and you're like opening up to the camera. You're worrying about angles. You're worried about, do me and my co-star look good? There's so much that goes into it that it's just a job.
Glad you elaborated on that, because sometimes people will leave comments like, no, it's not work. But if it's not work, why did they have to be on set for 4, 5, 6 hours then? You got to be doing something, right? So
exactly.
It's not just sex, right? So
yeah.
I read in an interview that your very first scene was rough and not fun. Do you care to elaborate on that? What made the scene not enjoyable?
So when I first got into the industry, I was with somebody who claimed to be an agent, but they weren't an agent, so they were kind of like a shady person. My very first gig was obviously very rough, but was it a rough? Not to cut you off, Gia. Was it a rough scene, or was the performer just rough? It was a rough scene. Okay, got you. Yes, it's a very rough site that everybody knows about. That I'm gonna say a good 95% of the industry relevant? Do not like or approve of that. Okay, so they're not relevant anymore? They're relevant, but not in the way of other companies. Yeah, mainstream. Is it a black couch? Oh, you don't care to say their name? Okay, that's fine. I don't mind. Oh, okay, I mean, it's called facial abuse. Okay. So it's very hardcore, very heavy stuff. And what happened was I was supposed to get on the phone and talk to the director of the site. Right. And before I got on the phone, my agent says, if he asks you if you've watched the footage, just say yes, because it looks really crazy, but it's not really crazy. So I get on the phone with this guy and I say, yeah, I've seen it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't. I had no idea what I was walking into. You know what I mean? And then when you're there. And your first scene, you're doing that? Yes. So you felt like that wannabe agent was really a pimp trying to pimp you out. I didn't know better. Because he didn't have his best. Yeah, but he knew you didn't know better, and he knew that you were vulnerable, and he took advantage of it, clearly, right? Yeah. Well, he was also that guy that was like, you have to have sex with me so I know that you're he's made out for porn. He's clearly a scumbag. Okay, yes, gotcha. Very horrible. I'm all about calling them out. I don't know if you're familiar with Angel Youngs. At the age of, I interviewed her at 19. This was in 2021 when she first got in the scene, and it was in Florida. And this is, well, I guess we'll touch on it now. She said to me, from the age she was 17, she was getting scouted. And I just thought that was crazy, because I have an 18-year-old daughter, and at that time she was 16. And 18, I'm an advocate for pushing it
up to 21. I just feel like 18 is just too young. I cannot imagine my 18-year-old walking in a room with a grown-ass man about to shoot a film in front of the camera.
I agree.
What's your thoughts on that? Oh, you agree? Okay, go ahead. Can you elaborate?
Because I feel like, okay, at 18, are you an adult? Yes, you are. But I don't think you know really what's best for you.
Yes.
I think that a lot of the 18-year-olds that get into the industry, they have no idea what they're getting into. A lot of them think that, oh, I can go do this and nobody's ever going to find out about it because, I have a stage name and all this stuff. And they get their heart broken. Or they find out like it's not for them. But then that stuff is on the internet forever and that follows them. So I think waiting a little while to be able to have to even think about it would be way better. 18 is too young. You're still
just
a
coming
teenager.
out of high school. Yes, and you're still a teenager, correct?
Yes.
So I don't know why they haven't pushed it up to 20. And that's why, America just kind of like, we don't want to deal with the adult entertainment, but yet it's the most watched entertainment platform there is, right? So clearly, but they need to step in and put their foot out there and just change that. That's a law that needs to be changed, just in my eyes. I mean, I just feel like I'm glad that and what makes the scene truly enjoyable for you, because I know you spoke on why that scene was so bad, but I meant to ask you also what makes the scene enjoyable for you.
I think feeling safe on set, being around people that you really trust, a safe environment, knowing your scene partner, getting an opportunity to talk and speak with your scene partner, going over things that you do or don't want to engage in. I think that is what makes me happy to be on a set. And then also, I think having a no list or a yes list of talents, that you feel comfortable.
You in safety. I'm glad. How important is that with a lot of the girls? Because without the vagina, this doesn't work, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't think it's going to be as popular as it is without the vagina. I just feel like the woman is the
there's gay
main
porn.
ingredient. Yeah, but it's still not going to dominate the same way across the board.
Well, I guess it depends person to person. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm just saying, you look at the most viewed scenes, it's usually boy, girl, right? Unless I'm wrong.
To be honest with you, I feel like a lot of it can be equal.
Okay.
Because there's so many people that consume porn. And then you think about straight couples, even watch queer porn. So I feel like it's pretty level. And then you'll listen to people who are like, oh, I watch porn for the guys. And then there's some people who are like, oh, I watch porn for the girls. I think it's just different case to case.
Wow. I can see you're willing to touch on anything that I asked you about this industry, and I appreciate that, because this honesty. Before we get into the freaky deaky talk, I want to touch on one more thing. As far as the safety in the game, do you give up and coming performers, particularly female performers, hey, these are red flags that you need to look for? Do you have that time, or you only give that to people that you actually vibe with and you feel their energy? Oh
no, I would give that to everybody and anybody. And I try to talk about that pretty often, because I wish I would have had somebody like that for me when I came in. So I always try to be that person for those girls. And if I see them going through something traumatic, I try to DM them and be like, hey, look out for this. If you ever need to talk to me about this, here's my phone number. Do not be afraid to reach out to me.
We had a guest in here earlier, and she's extremely popular, but it's not from adult films. She just got in the industry about 8-9 months now, right? And she was saying that she has a group chat where she talks to females that are in the industry, and they say, hey, because she's doing it independent, which performers are you a part of that circle? Is that a circle for you also, where you guys have a group chat and you communicate with your peers on who to work with, who's the red flag and all that? Do you do that also? I'm just sticking on the safety talk.
Yeah, we don't have a group chat, but I know that we often share lists about people, or if you see somebody working with somebody who's really problematic or has a bit bad reputation, people will reach out to you and be like, hey, just so you know, this is what happened with this person. Just be aware.
And how do you feel about performers now calling out the creeps and the predators now?
I'm happy about it. Great, I think that's something that should be constantly discussed.
Yes.
Because, even for the smaller performers and even bigger performers, sometimes you don't feel comfortable speaking out. But if you see somebody also talking about that thing, it kind of makes you feel like, okay, I can talk about this too. So I like that. I like that that's happening. I think that should have always been a thing.
Well, you guys didn't have the platform before.
Right.
You know, that's the game changer now. So that's why I said they need to value the kitty cat a little bit more in this industry. You know what I mean? As far as what you guys bring to the table. Gia Paige joining us on the Bougie Show. All right, we'll get into a little freaky. Best way to make a woman orgasm?
I guess it depends person to person. You know what I mean? Everybody has like their different buttons that you need to press. So I can't really say how do you make that for every woman. I can really only speak for like myself.
Well, for you.
Yeah, I'm like clit.
Oh, clitoris play.
So yeah, like
Okay.
penetration is good and everything, but I need a good warm up with like I'm really big clit stimulation. So
From the tongue?
anything.
Okay, gotcha.
Toys, tongue, finger. You know, I just
Squirt or two?
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, nobody's ever made me. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Have you ever
answer
had the
yet.
desire to do it?
I have no desire or like want. If it happens, I'm not gonna be mad at it, but I'm not gonna like go out of my way to try to make it happen. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. What did you inform any performers that you were going to be joining us?
I haven't. You know, I don't really like talk to other people about what I'm doing. I
Okay,
kind of,
got you.
I'm a very much keep to myself person.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But you said that you did have peers speak on the show and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I've seen a couple people, and I did. You know, I've seen them also be happy in their interviews, and
okay.
I'm like, I watch the content to make
great,
sure
great,
that
great,
it's something that I want to be a part
you
of.
pay attention
so.
to the energy and stuff like that.
Yes,
Okay, gotcha.
absolutely.
That makes sense. Do a lot more people than we think perform oral sex on airplanes? I know you participated in those acts before, and I saw it when I was preparing for your interview. Is that a common thing? Because I've had another performer tell me they've done it also.
I see a lot of girls that like do content in the bathroom with themselves. I don't hear a lot about like people, you know, doing things with other people on the plane. I don't think I've really ever seen it. And the time that I did it, it was the most like awkward blowjob I've ever given. And my partner at the time, he's like, that was weird. And I'm like, yeah, it was weird.
What, did you have a sheet over your head?
It was like a late flight,
So you
so
guys-
they gave us blankets. So yeah, it was like
So you act
under
like
a
you were
blanket.
sleeping on his back?
Yeah, on his
Why did you say
lap.
it was weird?
It just because like you can't really like bob your head a bunch, so like you're trying to be like super discreet about it. It's like not your average blowjob.
So were you really blowing it, or were you just licking it from the side so your head doesn't go up and down?
No, like yeah. I was like, you know, you just do a little, you know, it's like you're nodding your head just a little bit, but it's like really awkward.
Would you do it again?
Maybe. I don't want to get banned. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a little bit more careful now.
Yeah. I know you're not fond of an enormous penis, but I got to ask you, the first time you encountered one was when?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
You know what?
Okay.
When I was a little bit younger, I dated this guy, and he had a pretty big penis. He was really short, but he had a big dick.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it was surprising because people are.
No, they
like,
say usually the short guys are the ones that. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
No, it was just surprising.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? So that was my first introduction to a big
And
dick,
what happened?
I guess. Oh, nothing. We had a good relationship.
Okay.
He was a sweetheart. Like, we had sex. It was fine.
yeah.
You know, it wasn't like porny, obviously, because that was way before. So it was, you know, like.
What about in the
intimate.
industry? Your first one?
In the industry? See, now I've done so many scenes by now, I could not tell you.
Well, I saw that you worked with Dredd, and we posted a clip with him speaking on not using his penis as a weapon, and it went stupid viral, right? It went viral on all the platforms. And during your tenure, can you say that most male performers conduct themselves that way, where they don't use their penis as a weapon, particularly the larger penises?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
no, like usually they're like really sweet. I think like saying it's like a weapon, like it's a funny thing, but
Yeah.
I don't really consider it to be like a
Some
weapon.
women do,
Like,
though.
it's
That's where I
that-
got it from, because she's like, I don't mess with people that use their penis as a weapon. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize.
You know,
She says she watches them. If she's going to perform with you, she watches how you use your penis. And I was like, okay.
well, you have to be careful because like there's some people that just don't know how to fuck.
Okay.
So you could have a small dick or you can have a big dick, but if you don't know how to use it, yeah, it does feel like a weapon. Yeah. People like they fuck with their backs, you know what I mean, and not with their hips. And then they're just slamming your cervix, and it's just not. They think because they have a big dick that they're automatically good at sex, and that's
not
just
the case.
no, not the case at
Not
all.
at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. Wow. You put a little more hip in it, huh?
Right. Find that rhythm, you know what I mean? Find that, like, you know, that place with your scene partner that, you know, it feels cohesive instead of you just,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. What sexual acts, now we're going to get to the no checklist. What sexual acts and talents have found their way on Gia Paige's no checklist?
Ooh.
You don't have to say their name if you don't want to. If they've already been outcast, then you can say their name.
Yeah, I don't really feel comfortable saying
fine.
names.
So
but
tell me what
I
they
think,
did.
Okay, so there was this one guy who I had overheard him talking to a director, and he said that he was going down on a girl, and she said, like, don't lick my ass. And he was like, if I'm going down on a girl, I'm definitely licking her ass. I'm like, that's literally just going against somebody's consent. Like, you have to go out of your way to lick somebody's ass. You don't need to do that.
Correct.
Like, it felt weird, and this was somebody who had been in the industry for a while, so it was like, gross. You should know better than to do something like that.
Right.
Like, that's just like very strange to me.
Correct.
Yeah.
So he got put on your no checklist?
Immediately.
What else?
There was somebody who was just like overly rough and nasty to female performers, and it wasn't even just on an act type way.
Right.
Like, he genuinely was like that to women on and off camera. So that's really off-putting for me.
Still in the industry?
Yes.
Wow. How did you discover that? Was you watching his work, or this was complaints from your peers?
Oh, I actually worked with this person and had experienced it.
Oh, you experienced it
firsthand.
yourself?
Yes.
And what did you do to fix it? Why do you allow it to happen right there?
Oh, I completely like that. See, it's weird because you get in the industry and there's people who vouch for those people, and
Right.
then there's like agents who will put you directly in with those people, and they make you feel like, oh, this is a big person. Like, you need to be in tight with this
Right.
person. But like, I would spend time with them off camera. I would see the way that they treated. My friend was super into this guy, no matter what he did to her. And that was a huge turnoff for me because, I mean, obviously you're a grown adult. You're going to do whatever you want to do.
Correct.
But that's just not for me. So it's like I distance myself from that once I see that you are genuinely that person. You have no respect. And he really, not even on a acting level, he had no respect for women.
That now that we're on this, I want to go to this YouTube clip that we put on my personal page. And what it is, we take clips from highlights from whatever, from the interviews and from the Bougie Show channel, and we put it on the Zay the DJ channel. And there was one clip that we used with Jenna Fox when I interviewed her in Exotica. And it's hundreds of thousands, let's see, 455,000 people viewed it. And she talked about basically being raped on set because it was a rough scene, but the guy knew that he was creating discomfort for her and continued after being warned. So I said, well, why didn't you call the scene? Because I wanted to make everybody walk home with a check, and I didn't want to cancel it. A lot of men lacked sympathy, empathy for her, thinking, well, you could have stopped. Why didn't you? Not quite understanding the level of peer pressure. I understand that. And then she also said it with a smile on her face. But some people don't know that sometimes when people, something that's so tragic, they can't do nothing but smile as they're saying it. You understand what I'm saying? Absolutely. I want to know, what do you say to that?
I've been in the same position. You know what I mean? That very first scene that I did, I was so uncomfortable. I took a cut and I called my agent. I'm like, I'm scared. I don't like this. They're hurting me.
Right.
He's like, well, if you don't finish, you don't get a check. And it's like, I'm already in the middle of doing this. I've already been through so much with it. Like, if I don't at least walk away with a check, I'm broke. I was new in the industry. I needed that money. So it's like, I have to finish what I started.
You got to get the assholes out your world. You got to get them out of there. Wow. And I've been wanting to talk to more performers about that when she said that because, again, I just think there was a serious lack of consideration and empathy for women being in a room full of men, and then you're like, well, we all want to get paid, and then and then you got to worry about getting blackballed, etc. So I was glad. I appreciate you speaking on that. I consider you to be a vet in the adult film industry. Is there a truly life after porn?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
I mean, none of my people have treated me differently. I'm still the person that I am. They know me. They know my character. So, like, nothing's changed about me. I don't see anything different than going from one job to another and being treated differently. So, I mean, do you mean like in form of like relationships?
I mean, just moving.
Like,
Moving on. Like, okay, so say you're getting, whatever, you're done. You gave the game all you had. Whatever. You've aged up, and if you're not getting to directing, you know what? I just don't want to deal with this industry no more. Where do you go from there? Do you go? Because I've heard a lot of performers say, "Well, I can't go work for the government. I can't go do this. I can't go do that." If you still got 20 years before retirement, what do you do? Is my question.
Me personally, I mean, I've always wanted to get into mortuary science. So I know that when I get bored of this, and I will, you know what I mean? I am a person that gets bored and I move on to other things. I will go and do that. And then I've also considered clown school because that's something that's really interesting.
Say it again?
Clown school.
Clown?
Yeah. Like I want to get into, like contortionism and like trapeze art and stuff like that. I guess you just really have to find something that you're passionate about. And you would just move on. Like
You're
any
not worried
other job.
about getting discriminated against or anything like that?
No.
I interviewed a performer that's been in the game for, how long was she? The lady that was here earlier today. I don't want to say her name, but she, probably 6 months. And she just said that her husband and her had just got sexually discriminated, not being allowed to use the gym that they were using before because somebody there knew and informed everybody. And now she's, so that's why I'm saying, like, worried about the backlash of, well, I don't know. I mean, the game has changed for a lot of adult performers. It's definitely a lot more accepted. I know you're willing to talk on that stuff and, the reality of things. So I just wanted to get your perspective.
No, me personally, I'm not worried about that. If I go somewhere and they don't want me there, I'll move on to the next thing. There's going to be somewhere that's going to accept me because things are changing in the world.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Are there always going to be those people that are going to cut you out and make you feel like you don't belong somewhere? Yes, absolutely. But for every single one of those people, there are going to be other people who will accept you, who will see it as a job, who won't, stereotype you as whatever they think is a bad thing about the industry.
I ain't finished with dread though. You did what with dread?
I've done anal and I've done vaginal dread.
It is time to stop the fuckery.
You just said you weren't too fond of the enormous, but I guess if it's good content, you got to go do it?
Well, actually, it really just depends on your scene partner. And he is somebody who I'm very comfortable with, who is also like very gentle and is aware of, the talent that he's working with. So it really just depends on that bond with somebody, I guess. And I had worked with him before and I really liked him and he made me feel comfortable and that's why I did it.
Got it. That makes sense. Well, most of them speak highly of him. He's a good guy.
He's very nice.
If you could change one thing about the adult film industry, what would that be?
I think agents. I think I would change a lot about agents and the way that they have a grasp on their talents and the lies that they tell their talents.
Do you think that agents are pimps? Legal pimps?
I think that some of them are, yes. Okay. But then I do also think that some of them genuinely care about their models.
Right, and I think those are the ones that last. But my thing is, we had a young lady who was supposed to join us. And she said, I don't think she quite understands. She's been in the industry for about a month and a half, and I won't say her name because I know she's young and I know she's in the game, but she didn't quite understand how this works. She's like, I'm about to change my agency, and I'm not mentioning the agency's name. Next week, can we do the interview next week? And I said, honey, that's not how this works. This is an event, and this is why we schedule it ahead of time, and blah, 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 blah. So she said, okay. And then she spoke with the agents. The agents are like, no, wait till you change over before you do the interview. Even though her interview wouldn't come out until a month from after she's done it, where you would change. But I don't ask about your agents. Right. And the point I'm making is, again, young girl being misled, not quite understanding that agencies has nothing to do with you doing an interview. You understand what I'm saying? Because most time you guys get interviewed, nobody's asking you. So to me, it was just a control factor, Gia Paige. What do you say to that?
So this is actually something that I speak on quite frequently that upsets me a lot is your agent works for you. You hire your agent. Exactly. You pay them a percent. They do not get to tell you what you can and cannot do. That's a big misconception. I see it happen to girls left and right. You enter this contract with somebody and they tell you, you have to stay with me throughout the duration of your contract. That won't hold up in court. Yep. Nobody can hold a contract over your body, but these people make you feel like...
Because they know they're vulnerable. They know these girls...
Your agent works for you. At any time that you want to, you can fire them. And that's what it is. Yes. Anything that you want to do, that you feel comfortable doing, that's what you do. If your agent comes to you and says, hey, you have to do X, Y, and Z, you can tell them, no, I'm not doing that. And that's not going to affect my career in any way, shape, or form.
I'm so glad you touched on that because being the fact that you guys can own your own content and monetize off of it forever, as long as somebody's watching, right? Why are they still going that route? Why are the girls still going that route? Why not? You can make yourself so popular on OnlyFans, and then if major production companies want to come holler at you, okay, well, this is what I'm charging, and work it out. Why do you? Is because you feel like do they doing it because they feel like that's an easier way into the industry by going through the agency?
I think that just a lot of people don't know how much income you can make off of OnlyFans and like the residuals you get off of that, because like in porn you get that check, you get your name out there, you know, and it can even be hard to build an audience on like OnlyFans.
Yes,
I had 5 years in the industry and I started OnlyFans, and it even took me a while to like build it and start making money off of it. So really it's like dedication to it. You have to
and I've had females tell me they only did mainstream to build up their OnlyFans, and I get it. They're playing the game how it goes. That's cool. I just, you know, I won't say this young lady's name. I remember I was walking to her car. She just got in the industry, and she's extremely popular now. Extremely one of the top new ones that's been the last 2 years, right? And I remember walking into her car, and she just flew in town. This is an interview in Miami. And I heard her agent call on the phone. Hey, where are you? And I just heard it. And she's like, I'm coming now. And it was still like obligated, like, hey, you're coming here. You're not going to shoot right now. You understand what I'm saying? You're not. I just saw as a man, I know when man is manipulating that mind and doing it. And I see it. I'm like, yo, that could not be my daughter, my sister, nothing. I'll be following her right behind her.
I think those are the same people that don't understand that your agent works for you as well. Yeah.
But you will learn.
Yes. There should be like a handbook, you know what I mean, of stuff like that you can help brand new girls realize. I think that would be like one of the very first things that any performer should learn, male or female.
And sex education also.
Yes,
STDs
much.
And how they work and stuff like that. A young lady mentioned that to me also. Your thoughts when you see performers come and go so fast in the adult and film industry, knowing that their content will remain forever? So basically, I want to know your opinion when they last for 2 months but they've done 10 scenes and then they say, oh, I can't do this no more. But what was the point? Because now it's out there forever and you didn't even really capitalize off and taking a run. What's Gia Paige's thought on that?
I think that for a lot of people, they don't understand that this is a business and that it takes a lot of work and they get into it and they realize it's not for them. And so they want to leave that behind. You know, I don't think it's necessarily like, oh, okay, you know, I'm done with this. A lot of the times, an agent told me one time the average shelf life of a new porn star is 6 months before they realize like either it's for them or it's not for them. It can be really hard on people, you know, and then like I said, their families finding out. There's like all sorts of factors in that, but it makes me sad. It makes me sad that people come in and they have a bad experience and then they want to get out of it, but that stuff's out there forever. And you know how that affects somebody, I can't imagine.
The part that disturbs me the most about it is that you don't know how you're going to experience it, but when you do it, it's for life. It's not like maybe we need to create OnlyFans, and then if you don't like the content, you can remove it, or once it's out there, it's being snatched by other platforms. Is that how it works?
People will pirate
they'll
it.
get it. Okay.
You know what I mean?
So there's nothing you can do. Even if you shooting it yourself, you can't remove it. It's still going to be there.
Well, you can DMCA.
Right.
You can hire somebody to take all that stuff down. But then there's people who don't even know that.
Right.
So you can be making like content from home and put it out there. Somebody can pirate it and upload it to all these different sites, and then it's out there. To me, I don't think that you can create porn on any level and it not get out there somehow.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Especially in this day and age.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Only thing I wish is that all the performers from back in the day had OnlyFans and had the opportunity to own their own content and still get money because people are still watching it. You know what I mean? So I love that technology has changed the game like that. How do you feel about female? Did I ask you this already? Female performers calling out people in the industry?
Yeah.
If you could take one thing back from your adult career so far, what would that be?
Being with my first agent. If I could.
You knew that, right?
Yeah, that's something that.
But you don't even consider him an agent.
No.
Is he still around?
No.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I have cut that so far from my life.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
So many.
I feel you. I mean,
traumatizing things. Like that man is so far in the back of my mind, and hopefully in the back of mind of like anybody else who was under his wing at any point.
What does your audience appreciate most about your content?
I think that it's me. Like I don't do anything just for. Like, I don't shoot with people just because they're popular. I shoot with people who I know I have good energy with, who I know I'll put out a good scene with, and my fans really appreciate that. No.
Okay.
No, but I shoot with everybody.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, anything. If I have a connection with you, I'm going to shoot with you.
Okay. Vagina maintenance. How do you go about making sure your kitty cat is up to par and gets its primary care?
Cranberry pills, D-monos. You
slow
can do
down. Wait,
apples.
what the hell is D-monos? What is that?
It's it's a supplement.
Okay.
It's like, it's got all sorts of stuff in it that helps, regulate things.
Okay.
It's good, vitamins and minerals that help regulate stuff like that. Cranberry pills, apple cider vinegar, boric acid when you need to. There's some drinking a lot of water, maintaining a good diet, because when you're not doing all of that stuff affects you, not even just your vagina, but your overall health.
Do you do Kegel exercises also?
Sometimes. Yeah.
That's something I've been learning the last few events about Kegel exercises. So I now ask performers that. August 9th, you tweeted, quote, "How often do you change your toothbrush? For me, it's once a month, and every single time I come home from a work trip." End quote. Real talk or cap?
No, that's real.
Real talk. Okay.
I'm like, as I've gotten older, I've become so much more aware of germs and just feeling icky about stuff. Like, I'm not going to go on a work trip and suck 3 dicks and then come home and use the same toothbrush. You know what I mean? It just feels gross.
That's 100.
Yeah. Absolutely. And if you're listening to this and you don't change your toothbrush often, do it, please.
Yes, please.
For the love of God, please do it.
Yes, it matters.
And get a tongue scraper. That's...
Wait, you can get a scraper for the tongue?
Yeah.
I thought you just have to go back there and make yourself cough and scrub it.
No, they
I didn't
sell
know that.
them. Yep. It's like a little horseshoe type
Out of
thing
a regular
that you
retail store?
Yep, you can get them anywhere.
Tongue scraper. Okay. Let's go back a little earlier with your tweets. July 26th, you tweeted, quote, "I love coming home and taking my makeup off. I would say you can compare it to taking off a bra at the end of a long day, but I haven't worn one of those in years. Long live free boobies." End quote. You really don't wear bras anymore?
I don't wear bras.
Okay.
I haven't worn bras in a really
It's because you're
long
petite
time.
and you don't really need it. You can get away with it?
It feels like a prison. When you wear them, it's just uncomfortable. It's another layer. There's wires. It's just it's uncomfortable.
I've noticed a lot of women in California walk their dogs coming out of Starbucks with no bra, with the coffee in their hand. So it's quite okay.
Yeah, I don't think nipples are an accessory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be worried. If somebody is staring at your nipples or making you feel uncomfortable, that's a them problem. Why are you looking so deeply into that?
Not done with you yet. July 5th, you tweeted, quote, "May I ask why the word simp is an insult? People being nice and not expecting anything in return is an insult? So you're telling me you're the only nice to women when you want to get something out of it. That would make you a creep. You're just telling on yourselves." Elaborate, please. Well, you kind of did, but
I stand by that.
Yeah.
I stand by that because there's an entire group of people that really believe that if you're nice to a woman that isn't gonna have sex with you, why are you doing that? That's a waste of your time. And it's weird because it's very indicative of the way that you view women and the way you probably don't have any female friends if that's the case.
correct.
And if you're only being nice to somebody because you want to get something out of them in the end, that's on a level of predatory to me.
And women recognize that also, right?
Absolutely.
They recognize when it's genuine and when
You're going to get a lot more of my respect and attention when you give me respect. And it doesn't have to be in the form of gifts or anything like that. When you're just genuinely nice to somebody, that is going to be what grabs my attention to you.
Tell me about a location where you were sexually active that you never imagined.
A hospital.
Wait, were you the patient?
Yes.
It is time to stop the fuckery.
Elaborate.
I went to the hospital. I was having really bad chest pain
Okay.
and stuff like that. They hooked me up to a bunch of monitors, and I had to stay in the hospital for 3 days.
Okay.
My boyfriend came to visit me, and
At the time or still?
yeah, no.
No. Wait, I'm
Wait,
lost.
are we together?
Yes.
No.
Oh, okay, so your boyfriend at the time. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right.
Yes, he came to visit me, and we had sex in the hospital bed.
So I guess the chest pains went away?
Oh, yeah, you can.
And how did he have sex? Weren't you worried about the nurse or somebody walking in?
Nope.
So
Not at all.
what'd he
And
do?
if they would have, I would have. Oh my god.
So what, he
my
lay in the
chest.
bed with you and while you're under the sheet and kind of put the panties to the side and slow motion it?
I wasn't wearing panties. You're just in the hospital now.
Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, all right, I got you there. But he couldn't be full throttle. He had to kind of
No, it's like a spoon situation.
yeah, spoon is where you're on the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just kind of,
Yeah.
okay. And then if somebody comes in, you just hop back out.
Yeah, because it's not uncommon for somebody to be laying with you in the
Yeah.
hospital bed. If you're
Oh,
doing
that's not
a long
uncommon?
stay, no.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think so. I've seen
never
it a lot.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Usually you're sitting in the chair next to the patient holding on their hand or, you
but
know.
if you're staying the night with them, a lot, you know, and I was there for 3 days. So, like, he had slept in the hospital bed with me, and they had seen that. So
Raw dog?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It is time to stop the fuckery.
Woo! I love when I ask you guys a question and then I get it exact opposite of what I thought I was gonna get. It's pretty dope. If Gia Paige could spend the day as another human being, who would that be and why?
That's a tough question. 'Cause I feel like that could be a lot of people. But you know who I really admire? I love Lisa Vanderpump. I think she is like the epitome of a lady, and she carries herself so well, and she has all these businesses, and so many people respect her, and I think that her life is really interesting. So probably her.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. End goal for Gia Paige.
End goal? I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
I don't know yet. Yeah, because I changed
about
my
as a
mind.
performer.
Oh, as a performer, I think when I get bored, it'll end for me. And I don't know if that's going to be soon. I don't know if that's going to be later. It just depends on, you know, what life throws at me.
But you don't have an end goal?
No, there's nothing. I don't like, there's not anything that I'm necessarily working towards getting out of this. I've already got the one thing I wanted, which was a Best Actress award. So anything that happens now is just fun and bonus.
Add-ons to the accolades. I got you. All right, well, we're going to start name drop. That's when I state people's names. 2 will be in the adult industry, and the 3rd person will be a well-known figure in society, right? And if you'll give me your first thought when I say their name. If you choose not to say anything, you say pass.
I think pass is like you kind of say it without saying it.
No, I'm saying you just say pass. I mean, if you choose not to, if I say somebody's name and you don't have a fond memory, pass. You know what I mean? Like that. You ready?
Yeah.
Miss B Nasty.
Love.
Love. Okay. Sarah Ryder.
Love. I actually just worked with her recently.
Okay.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, hopefully she'll come on now. She sees you've been on here.
I would love that.
Hugh Jackman. Why do you like him so much? Her so much, sorry. No, him so much, sorry. Typo, yeah. Hugh Jackman.
Handsome.
So you're attracted to him. That's it? What about his talent as an actor?
Oh, he's very talented. I have a lot of respect for him. He's multifaceted, you know what I mean? He's in musicals, he's in, you know, action movies. He's very handsome.
So if I ask you one male celebrity out there you can take down, he would be the one?
I think there's a lot of male celebrities.
There's not one though?
No. There's not like one that I'm super going for. I don't think there's one person that I'm going for in any avenue of my life.
So Hugh Jackman, the first thing you think is handsome?
Yeah.
Okay. So looks still matter to women. It's personality. No, you pay attention. You
Well, it
still
really
see what you see
depends.
first, right?
Yeah. Well, of course, like you're gonna see somebody and you're gonna be attracted to them or you're not.
Right.
I feel like no matter what
Looks,
you
we're talking
think,
physical, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right.
The first thing you do when you see somebody is see them. So like you are attracted to them on some type of level, and then you get to know them, and that really determines whether you like. It can be the most handsome or beautiful person that you've ever seen, but if they have a bad personality or they give you an ick, then they become not attractive.
And what makes somebody attractive to Gia Paige?
Kindness. And if you can make me laugh. Yeah. If you treat people badly or if you speak down on a lot of people, I feel like that's a big red flag for me.
And what's the first thing you notice on a man?
Eyelashes.
Oh, wow.
I'm
so you
very envious of men's eyelashes.
You like the ones that connect, like Anthony Davis from the Lakers? No. That shit looks weird to me.
You think it looks weird?
I would, if it was me, I'd cut that middle out. But that's me. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't want to judge
You like
anybody's
thick eyebrows? What do you like? Thick
No, it's
eyebrows?
eyelashes.
Oh, eyelashes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking eyebrows. That's one way I did it. Okay, got you. I'm tripping.
Yeah, no.
I'm tripping.
Men always have the most beautiful eyelashes. I'm so envious. Yes.
I don't know. I never paid attention.
See,
so
now that I said it,
Yeah.
you should pay attention to it.
I doubt it.
Okay, well, fair enough.
I truly doubt it.
Okay.
But if I ever do, I'm sure you'll pop up in my head and I'll see your face. Anything else on the man that you pay attention to first thing out the gate?
No, eyes. I mean, I think it's just really eyes. Eyes, eyelashes. Like.
So the face.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Pay attention if they got a wide ass nose too? Or no?
No.
Okay.
I don't care about stuff like that.
But don't you women look at that like, okay, if I have a child, my child's gonna have, if, like me, I got a big forehead, so I know my child's probably gonna have a big forehead. You don't think like that?
You want to know what the fun part about that is?
Yeah.
I'm not having kids.
Okay, well, that's something I hear quite often too.
Yep.
So who's gonna wipe your booty when you get older?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, you know what I think is bad about this is that you can have kids and they can fucking hate you.
That's true.
And then they're not gonna wipe your ass at the end of the day. You can't like have kids in the expectancy of like, oh, they're gonna do stuff for you or they're even gonna like
That's
you.
true.
You could be the best parent in the world and your kid could still hate you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. That's messed up, but it's true.
It's harsh realities, yeah.
Gia Paige joining us on the Bougie Show. We're going to start Moment of Truth. Moment of Truth is when I state things. If I say what I state is true, you say true. If what I state is not true, you say false, and you can elaborate why it's false. And if it's something you choose not to acknowledge, you can say pass.
Okay.
Most men prefer the bush. Trimmed.
False.
Okay, false. They prefer it completely shaved or trimmed.
I've heard a lot of men, a lot of men, I'm not going to say all, think that associate hair with like being dirty. Even though like
That's
they can be
fuckery.
hairy. Yeah, they can be hairy and it's not gross or weird to them. But if, a woman is hairy, it's gross all of a sudden.
Do they make the men required to shave all their pubic hairs down there to make their penis look bigger? Is that why they have to do that?
No, I've never been on a set where it's a requirement. And for me, I don't care. Whatever my scene partner feels the most comfortable with, that's fine with me.
Okay. So that was false. You ever experienced sexism on set before?
True.
Care to give an example?
I think that a lot of the times...
Not example, sorry. You care to explain or what it was?
Yeah, I mean, you can be on a set with a bunch of men. You know what I mean? And then they'll treat you differently because you're the only woman that's on set. And it's awkward and
I'm sure
uncomfortable
that
because a
happens.
lot of sets are like all men. You know what I mean? And they'll get in their little cliques and they'll, be on their stuff. And then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like go off and do your own thing and treat you differently. Okay, yeah, can I get you any water? Oh, okay, you can go clean up in the bathroom. Like, it's just, and that's some sets. That's not all sets, but I have experienced it.
What about racism?
Yeah.
Ooh, can you share it?
I don't think I can.
You can't explain what made you recognize it's racism? I'm not saying, you're not saying any names or anything, but what made you realize, okay, this is a racist situation?
There are whole companies
Okay.
that kind of they make it seem like having intercourse with a black co-star is something that happens to you instead of something that you do together.
Ooh, that's 100. We'll applaud that because that's dope. Okay, go ahead, Q. I don't want to throw off your thought. Is that it?
No,
that was dope.
Yeah.
I don't even need to touch on that. That like you just nipped it in the bud.
Yeah.
Wow. And you're the first person to actually give that explanation. Okay, cool. You couldn't walk the next day after getting pounded out on set.
False.
Always getting bounce back.
Yeah.
Okay. You shot a scene and wish you could have canceled it after it was, well, besides the first scene, because obviously that you wish you would have canceled recently. More recently.
True.
What? Why?
Whether I don't like the way that I looked, the makeup artist did my makeup in a way that I didn't like, or like the angles that they shot, like I just didn't like seeing in myself. Like there's a lot of that because you go to set and they're like, oh, we're doing your makeup this way and you're gonna wear this outfit. And if you don't feel sexy or confident, to me, I'm not gonna look at that scene and be proud of it. And I'm not even gonna wanna promote it.
We already asked this. 18 is too young to be an adult performer. You've had a talent pass out during a performance.
False.
Okay. You've had a talent look you in your eye and ignore your double tap.
Yes, true.
You ever perform with that person again?
No.
Did you let them know about it?
Yes.
And how did they receive it?
Not well.
They took
Criticism,
offense?
I think criticism can be hard for some people. Some people can take constructive criticism and be okay with
is
it.
that considered when you're criticizing him as a performer, or are you just saying, yo, you're a scumbag, you were hurting me, and you didn't care?
I would never call somebody a scumbag. I would be
Right.
like, hey, please, this is what I'm doing, and I feel like you knew that I was doing that and you didn't respect that. And some of them will be like, oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I was caught up in the moment. Totally get you. I understand. And then there's some people who they let their ego get in the way.
And took offense to it.
Yes.
Okay. If a man attempts to eat you out the first time y'all have sex, he's nasty in your mind.
False.
I asked that because I don't eat vagina, so I wanted. No, I've never done it.
It is time to stop the
Why?
fuckery.
Wait, what? Wait. I'm sorry. I don't
I'm
come
from the old
across
school.
What do
I
you
don't know.
mean old school? I've seen old school
I
porn.
know, but
They
I
eat
was.
pussy.
It
I'm talking fuckery.
is time to stop the fuckery.
Oh man, I don't know, man. Maybe one day I'm starting to think about it now as I've gotten older. But when I was young,
Why? What's
because
the
I just
reason for
wasn't
that?
fond of it. I felt like a king doesn't bow.
But you think a queen should bow?
No, I didn't say a queen should bow. I'm just saying.
Wait.
This
Because I
is
feel
how-
like there's a bit of a double standard.
Yeah, I
going on
totally
here.
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
But I never asked a woman, "Hey, you have to perform oral sex on me for you." No, that doesn't matter to me.
So if a woman didn't blow
That's
you
fine.
before sex,
As long as I still get the goodies, I don't care.
yeah, but there's foreplay.
I
there's
get it. I get it.
warm-up.
I said that's
Do
when I
you
was
finger
younger.
somebody
Now
before?
I've gotten older. Yeah, that's nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's different. I don't have a problem touching
Interesting.
it. Clearly, I don't have a problem touching it.
Interesting.
But no, I'm just saying. But I'm starting to. If I do it, it's got to be for my wife. It's got to be for somebody I'm head over here. It's got to be special. I can't just do that shit randomly. You know what I mean? To me, because you're giving. If I bend down on my knees and I stick my tongue up in you.
Is that a masculine?
That's
to you?
special. Yeah, I definitely think because moment of truth.
Okay. I'm gonna hear you
When we
out.
were raised, it was just I don't know. It was just like men. We don't do that. You know what I mean? We don't do that. That's how I came up.
May I
And
ask
I'm
a
sure most
question?
of them did it and just lied.
May I
But go
ask
ahead.
a question?
Yes,
you don't
can.
have to answer if you're not.
I will.
How old are you?
40.
Okay.
All right.
I've fucked men that are older than you that eat pussy.
And they suck it. And they probably eat the booty and all that.
Everything. Well, some of them don't eat ass because, I feel like that's more of a kind of. I'm not gonna say newer thing, but I guess it's more normalized now. But yeah, I've never been with somebody who doesn't eat pussy. I think I wouldn't be with anybody. who doesn't eat pussy.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. But I'm wondering to have a woman actually teach me how to do that, to learn something that at this age of my life.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? If you met a man and you're like, yo, I don't ever eat vagina, but I'm willing. If you teach me, I'm willing to do it. Now I'm ready to do it. Would you embrace that challenge?
Yeah. I think that it's bold and brave.
Because
of
anybody
to be
can learn how to
honest.
do it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, of course, at any age.
I'm not gonna think about it after this though. I just want to know that.
I'm gonna message you later and ask you every couple weeks.
Every
Hey,
couple weeks,
how's
you
it going?
Okay. Well, while we're at the eating, you enjoy rimming men.
Depends.
I get a lot of complaints about men not knowing how to clean their buttholes.
Yeah, I'm
experienced that?
very picky.
Okay.
I'm very
I
picky.
agree. You're not wrong.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
You can't do it to just anybody.
Okay. So that's a true. Yeah? You enjoy or just false kind of
I guess
neither?
Because I feel like before it happens that they are not cleanly. Whether or not they have body odor or their breath smells or they have dirty fingernails. There's kind of those little clues. Or if you're sucking the dick and it's not a good smell. There's so many different things that you can pick up on.
So there's red flags
you
before you can actually get to the booty hole?
Yes. Yes.
It's fuckery. But real. It's fuckery, but it's real.
Yeah.
When it's time for the money shot to the face, you get nervous it's going to land in your eye.
I don't care. I did a scene where I asked somebody to come in both of my eyes.
I thought it burns, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
So you like pain? Like that?
I mean,
Like a burning sensation? Is it a burning sensation?
It's
Is that fair?
yeah, it burns, but I think it's cool too.
What's
I just
cool
wanted
about
to
your
do
eyes
something.
burning? Wait, I'm trying to
Well,
understand.
listen, because you can wash your eyes out,
But it
colloidal
burns.
silver, yeah, but only momentarily.
Okay, because I've heard some women say, "Oh my God, it's the worst."
Well, I guess for some people they don't want to do that, but there are times where it's kind of thrilling. If it gets in my eye, I'm not going to be mad about it. Or like I said, that scene that I did where I actively opened my eyes and wanted them to come in both of my eyes.
Last one. You've gotten burned as a performer.
Burned as in
Chlamydia or an STD.
Oh yeah, earlier
Yeah.
in my career, only twice, and I don't know if you would say it was necessarily from a performer. I mean, it was from a performer, but it was we were doing orgies off camera. Before I knew that you shouldn't just be doing stuff like that. Agents were facilitating these orgies with directors and other female talents, and when you're new in the industry, you're not thinking so much of being careful with your sexual health. You're going to go off and you're going to fuck whoever you want to fuck, and you're not thinking about the other people that you might affect in that. Yeah.
I had a girl, speaking of orgies, she said she pretty sure she caught herpes through an orgy. I mean, you know, she was proud. I appreciate her honesty, and she was explaining, like, I was like, yo, but how do you a performer? She says, because I never had a breakout, and you have to know how it works, and that's why she mentioned sex education and stuff like that. But
very much, yeah.
So, yeah, I appreciate her honesty. I won't say her name because you guys will find out who she is when her interview comes out, correct? Anyways, Gia Paige has joined us on the Bougie Show. I really appreciate your honesty. I appreciate your experience, your knowledge in the game, and you can clearly see that you wanted the game to continue to get better and be more beneficial to the people that are at the end of the day making the ultimate sacrifice, which are the women. The floor is yours. That's your camera. You can state to them what you got coming up next, and also share something rare about yourself that we don't know.
Okay. Well, I actually just started shooting, so I have a bunch of scenes coming out that haven't yet come out, so you can definitely look forward to those. And I guess something that you don't know about me that you should know, maybe. I'm really shy, actually. I know it doesn't seem like that on camera. You know, when I'm in front of a camera, I kind of turn into a different person. That's Gia. You know what I mean? You can turn that on, you can turn that off, but I am actually really shy.
I believe you, because when I walked up to you, I wanted to shake your hand, and you kind of didn't realize my hand was hanging out to you. And then I said, okay, she doesn't know what I'm trying to do, as I was telling her, giving you your props. So that's fine. So now you just verified and confirmed that you are shy. But it's amazing how you get in front of the camera. And just like me, I don't like attention, but I don't like to be bothered when I'm in the gym or in the grocery store.
It's a switch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm glad you know that.
Yeah.
I guess people who are in front of the camera identify with each other when it comes to that, right?
Yeah.
It's a time when we want to be that person. It's a time when we just want to be ourselves, right?
Yeah. Turn it off and be you.
Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, with fame and stuff like that, you don't have that choice.
You have to have a healthy separation in that.
But how do you? Because when people don't respect it, like, okay, well, before we get out of here, have you gotten recognized?
Yeah, I actually just got recognized 2 days ago. I was eating at Hollywood Burger, just outside, sitting. Somebody walked by, they stopped and said, "Are you Gia Paige?"
By yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, and I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, cool," and kept walking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very
Wow.
sweet. Yeah, nobody's ever been like super weird to me about it, ever. They've always been very respectful.
On that note, Gia Paige, we are going to check out. We appreciate you joining us. It was a true pleasure to have you on the show and to pick your brain and just have a friendly conversation with you. We wish you the best in your future endeavors, and thank you for joining the Bougie Show. Are you ready to go do some B-roll and take some pictures and all that good stuff?
I am. Let's do it.
Okay, Gia Paige is joining us on the Bougie Show. We are checking out, y'all. Yay!
Yeah.
Okay.